first up this morning, a new novel called The Stupendous Adventures of Marty Hayes. I like it. It is about multicultural superheroes with the mix of science and spy gadgets.
Some are describing it like Black Panther meets Harry Potter, and we are thrilled to welcome the local author, Lora Hyler, to the Yellow Couch. She's originally from Racine, is that correct?
That's correct.
Nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you look adorable.
Thank you.
Very springy. I like that.
Yeah. So this is great. So these are superheroes for the new age. This is a multicultural cast of superheroes.
Definitely, definitely. We're talking about 12-year-old 7th graders who are in an advanced science classroom working on CRISPR-Cas9 gene editing technology.
Is that real? Is that a real technology, or did you make
it
up?
It is a real technology,
Okay.
yes. And that's kind of a nice lead-in because kids are able to go and do some research on this if they want to find out more about it. And they love spy gadgets, so we have quite a bit of spy gadgets within the novel.
All right, one of the things that people have said is that it's sort of like Black Panther meets Harry Potter. Do you see that as praise? How do you feel about that?
I'll take it.
Yeah, because I'm
good.
cool right now.
And
I will
very,
definitely
very
take it.
popular also.
Yes, the timing is very interesting for this novel. I mean, I would not have anticipated what's going on right now when I started writing it, which really began about 3 years ago, and then I got very serious when I did a residency in France last year for a month. And so that was when I kind of made it to the finish line. But I love the fact that it's got the superhero connection to what's happening right now with Black Panther. And then the Harry Potter comparison, I think, comes in because of the fact that Mighty Marty Hayes has the ability to manifest whatever he wants to create.
That wizardry almost.
Yes, so he's using, you know, his creations to basically fight the bad guys in the novel.
I love that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Your book was just released, and you already
Correct.
won an international award, the Kirkus Review Award. Is that correct, or what?
Well, it's not exactly an award. It's actually a professional review.
Oh, and only 10% are chosen for this,
Only
right?
10% are chosen for a publication that goes out to 5,000 librarians across the state.
That's
so yes,
huge.
I'm very excited about that, and I think that I've just gotten such a tremendous reception too from members of the public. Kids, I've spoken to about 250 kids so far, 200 at St. Monica in Whitefish Bay.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to have like this huge assemblage of kids, and they were sitting there clutching the book. So from kids to parents to professional reviewers, I've had a great reception.
And I love what I've read, that the book touches on history with Mighty Marty's granny explained that she used her superpowers to aid Dr. King, and includes a discussion of black spies. Why did you feel that was important?
Well, I felt that I needed to explain how Mighty Marty got his powers, and so to attach it to his granny, I thought, so how would she have used her powers? And since she would have lived during that civil rights era, I thought she would have used her powers to help Dr. King. And then the black spies came about because since they were playing with spy gadgets, I thought that they would have been putting up posters on their bedroom wall and having some connection to the spies of the past. So it's kind of a neat way to weave that into the story.
That's
I like
cool.
that.
You mentioned the kids at St. Monica. What have other kids said to you after reading the book?
I actually had a teenager who I introduced the book to at a neighbor's party, and the minute I mentioned Dr. King, she went wild, and so I wound up giving her a copy of the book. But I think what kids are thinking is, first of all, the superhero pulls them in, and then kids that love science get really engaged with that. And then I think when they hear the pieces of history that they're dealing with in school, they go, oh, wow, it's like it's in a book, it's in a fun book.
Yeah.
So it makes it a lot more accessible to them.
I love the learning accidentally kind of thing.
Yes.
As you're reading or doing
Exactly.
things that happen.
Exactly.
A lot
Yeah.
of people recognize you because you provided commentary on today's TMJ4 to our newsroom. So it's great to have you here on the Yellow Couch. And one of my favorite things to ask authors is, do you believe in writer's block?
Do I believe in writer's block? What I find myself doing is, if it's not flowing, if it's not coming, I get myself busy, physically busy.
Doing something else.
Yeah, and even if it's just pure exercise, because then it kind of gets everything firing the way it should. So I try not to use that as an excuse. I just try to divert myself for an hour or two and then come back to it.
Okay.
I think it's cool. This is going to be a 3-part series, right?
Correct.
Okay, so you went to this International Spy Museum with your family,
Yes,
and you were kind of the one who was more interested.
I was the one crawling around through the tunnels and doing everything. Yeah, my son and husband were kind of like, really? You know, like.
Cute.
But I mean, it's just fascinating. And my husband happens to work for a company that's in the Washington, D.C. area, so I've been back several several times.
Yeah.
Recently.
What did you learn about spies, like from a museum too? Because I'm always like, I think that's something that we're all sort of fascinated by, you know, thinking about spies that are at the White House or different things like that.
Right.
What did you learn?
Well, one of the things that I've started to do as I speak to kids is put up this short PowerPoint which shows some of the things that I learned about at the Spy Museum. So there's actually a cutaway of a full-size vehicle, and then they show how the bodies can fold over to be smuggled out. So there's like four different bodies that could fit into the single vehicle to be smuggled out. So, you know, when I think about parts 2 and 3 of the book, I just think about how this could just be endless as far as, you know, talking about the different gadgets that they use, the different techniques they use. I have to give them a different mission for books 2 and 3.
You're gonna need diagrams and pictures too.
Yeah, exactly. I have a couple of illustrations in this one, and I get that feedback from kids, like, we want to see more pictures inside. So we'll work on that. And so yeah, it's really cool to just integrate some of those things and to use my own imagination too about, you know, what kind of spy gadgets kids would work with.
Well, good for you.
It's
Congratulations on the success you've already enjoyed from the book. It sounds fantastic for young readers especially, but I think adults would love it too. And you have a book launch coming up, which is fun. It's Thursday next week at April 12th at 6:30. That's happening at Boswell Book Company on Downer. People get a chance to meet you, ask you questions, get a signed copy, which is great. If people go to LoraHylerAuthor.com, they can find out more about your book and that book signing. Great to see you again. Come back.
Thank you.
Love it. Thank you.